Hello and welcome to the channel. Welcome to another reaction video. Today it's time for the Tudors again, and it's episode number 8 of season 1. It's been a while since I uploaded any Tudor episodes because I've been doing a bunch of other stuff on the channel. Been going out, filming stuff on location, and also did a reaction video to A Bridge Too Far together with my friend Sander from the YouTube channel Sander VK History. You can find that video on my channel already. We had a lot of fun making that video and doing that reaction, so check it out if you want to see that reaction, and I can highly recommend it. Sander has a lot of expertise about market gardens, so he tells a lot of great stuff about that movie and the actual events. So now it's time for the Tudors again, episode number 8. Like I said, I'm getting closer to the end of the season, and the previous episode number 7, was a bit of a different episode. It was mainly about the sweating sickness. There was an epidemic of the sweating sickness in London, and a lot of people died. It started out with William Compton. It was a friend of Henry, and he died, and I think his wife or his mistress died, and a lot of people died and also got sick. And Boleyn got sick, for example. Wolsey got sick. They survived, but a lot of other people, so they didn't make it. And like I said in the reaction to that episode, I didn't really know what the sweating sickness was. So I looked it up, and turns out nobody knows what it was. And, that makes sense. I don't have to feel bad now for not knowing what the sweating sickness was. Even now in 2024, when I record this, nobody knows what it was. It was a disease, probably a virus, that caused a lot of people to die, and when you got it, death was pretty fast. I think people died within days of contracting the disease. And like I said, Anne Boleyn survived and Wolsey survived. I don't know if they really got it, if they only got it on the show, or if they really contracted the disease in real life. I don't know. Couldn't find anything about that, but it was a really contagious disease. A lot of people got it from connecting or associating with somebody who had the disease, much like COVID, basically. And so you can see in the episode there was some social distancing going on in that episode, just like we had in 2021 and 22. I don't even remember. I put that stuff way back in my memory. I don't want to think about that time. And even now in 2024, nobody knows what it was. We don't know what kind of virus it was. There's still research going on. The problem is, they don't have remains that they can check. There are remains, of course, from that period, but they're only bones, and you have to have some kind of flesh or skin or anything to maybe do research and look for diseases, viruses in your system like that, and they can't find any, so that's a problem. And it was a highly contagious disease. A lot of people died from it. We saw it on the episode as well. I think they said like 40,000 people died in London alone, and doesn't seem much to today's standards, but we have to take into account, of course, that there were less people in London living at that time. So it was a pretty nasty disease, and it came really fast and also went away pretty fast. And also that is something they don't know why the sweating sickness went away. Probably there was some immunity build up by all the people that had it. Once you have a disease like that, same with the coronavirus, if you have the disease, your body makes antibodies and you're kind of immune until the virus mutates, of course. But that never happened probably with the sweating sickness, because it went away pretty fast as well. And that was what most of the episode was about. We could see Henry in his castle alone. He sent everybody away, because if the king gets it and dies, that's a problem, of course, for the country. So he was alone in the castle. He had some hallucinations, and was going crazy a little bit. And it also reflects a little bit to the coronavirus, where a lot of people went crazy as well. At least we back then had Netflix and other streaming services, and I had all these movies to It's kept me busy. But yeah, Henry was alone in his castle. He didn't have Netflix. He didn't have maybe a PlayStation to play with, stuff like that. He had books to read, and that's about it. So he was going crazy, and yeah, that was pretty interesting to see. The other stuff that we saw in that episode was the two guys that were sent to the Pope, and they were trying to get the annulment from the Pope, and they talked to him in his place where he was staying. He was still in exile from the Vatican, and he basically said, "I'm not going to make a decision right now. I'm going to postpone my decision," and he appointed a cardinal to travel to England with those two guys whenever the sweating sickness went away, and to have some talks with Henry, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, those two guys were not happy, and I don't think Henry will be very happy when he hears that. So we probably see in this episode number 8, we see some continuation of that. We'll probably see the Pope some more, and as we progress towards the end of the season, I think the annulment is going to play a bigger part in those episodes. I don't know if we're going to get the annulment in this episode, this season. I say the annulment, but we don't get an annulment at all, because we all know the Pope doesn't grant the annulment, but that's why Henry breaks away from the Catholic Church. I don't know if we're going to see all that in this season, maybe in the next one. I don't know. So we have to wait and see. So for now, enough talking. I think it's time to start the episode. So yeah, here's the Tudors Season 1, episode number 8. Let's go. He looks pretty bored. I'm a bit surprised that they're getting a painting done together, He told her already that he wants a divorce and that she has to leave court, and she's still there. She didn't leave.
Your Grace, His Eminence, Cardinal Campeggio.
Oh, there he is. So that's the guy the Pope appointed to handle the annulment. And it seems he's a very old guy who can't properly walk.
God has given me gout. It was a great trial.
That's not very nice from God.
His Majesty is very keen that the legatine court be set up straight away to determine the case for his annulment.
Indeed.
Yeah, Henry is in a hurry. I think he's been waiting. They don't really touch on that in this series, how long all this takes, but yeah, maybe even a year or something he's been waiting.
Would it not be better if you and I would try and persuade His Majesty to give up his divorce? Surely his passion.
That's not gonna happen. Wolsey knows it.
If you do not grant the king his divorce, papal authority in England will be annihilated.
Yep, that's gonna happen. Wolsey, of course, doesn't want that to happen. As a Catholic cardinal.
Is there any danger that they could declare your marriage valid?
Wolsey has assured me that the Pope has already decided in my favor. The trial's just for the sake of appearance.
Wolsey's a liar.
A way of appeasing the Emperor.
He's digging his own grave.
For a while, I shall have to share Catherine's table. And sometimes her bed.
Why is that?
I think it's nothing to go back to bed with your wife.
What do you think is going to happen?
What usually happens?
Sex. But I don't think Henry is interested in sex with her.
I love you!
Oh, is this our first official fight?
You understand how deeply this touches my conscience. And how quickly I need it to be resolved.
I do.
Yeah, I think it's something else.
This is a solution which very much pleases His Majesty.
I don't think so.
To abdicate her marriage and retreat to a nunnery.
Okay, so she will never do that. You could see in the previous episodes how she still loves Henry very much. I don't know why. If you treat it like that, yeah, I would like, fuck you. But she still loves Henry very much, and I don't think she will ever do that.
I will give you my answer in due course. After I have spoken with the king, my husband.
I think we all know the answer already. So does she. She's just stalling a bit.
Majesty.
Your Eminence.
Your Majesty. I beg that you yield to the king's will.
And what is his will?
What the hell is he doing? He's getting on his knees and begging.
Your Majesty is entering the third period of your natural life. You spent the first two setting a good example to the world. With this single act, you could put the seal on all your good actions.
Please rise, Your Grace.
I think, yeah, Wolsey is starting to sweat. You know, he knows that if this annulment doesn't happen, you know, it's his head. Yeah, it must be frustrating, you know, when you're in favor of the king and you have in such a high position and then see everything crumble beneath you.
So unless you agree to take the veil, I shall have to force you.
For sure, how? Imagine being one of those guys standing around the table, you know, one of the servants. You hear everything that's going on.
It contains many good criticisms of the papacy and of the arrogance and abuses of priests. You'll find it most illuminating. But always and ever be cautious.
This is dangerous, man.
When you show this, you must know it might be accounted heresy even to possess it. And Wolsey is still keen enough to prosecute heretics, as we are called, who embrace the true religion.
Yeah, this is some dangerous stuff that they're getting into now. Yeah, it's pretty crazy to know, you know, these two characters talking to each other and knowing how they both gonna end up, or how their heads are gonna end up. Because Cromwell, he gets executed as well, he gets his head chopped off as well.
You never even told me your name.
Jane.
No, because you were more interested in your sister.
Why did you leave the court?
And now that she's dead, he's gonna go after her.
My sister is still here, Thomas Dallas. She hasn't left me.
See the chicken? Oh, she's seen ghosts or something?
You can see her too, can't you?
I hope not. That's creepy as hell, man.
I came all the way from London, and I really want you to come back to court.
Why? You liked my sister more than me. I could tell.
That's what I said.
I want to marry you, Jane.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, you know. He clearly stated that her sister was his favorite, but now she's dead. But for her, it's a great step to have a good life, because he's you know, the official magician to Henry. So that's a pretty important position at court.
So you came to the king's bed, a virgin, intact in character.
Yes, Father.
This is a problem, you know. She now swears before God that she was a virgin, so you know, I don't think he's gonna be able to give the annulment now.
I give you permission to break the seal of the confessional and tell the whole world what I have told you.
She's playing it hard. Yeah, but who can blame her, right? She doesn't want to give up her position. Even though she's been treated like shit by her husband, you know, still with the queen, you have a pretty good life. So she doesn't want to give that up.
Is that why you keep company with that devil Boleyn?
You liked him enough once when he helped us back to court. Or were you just being cynical?
I didn't see all of his game.
Doesn't look like this marriage is going pretty well.
I loved you.
I don't know the meaning of the word, Charles.
Loved. Not love, but loved, like in past tense.
And in that hour, I do believe you love as well, and deeply, as any man.
She can't really complain, you know. It's better than to be married to that old guy, King of Portugal.
Don't play the fool, Charles. It doesn't become you.
Yeah, I think he grew bored of her. Just get a divorce, get on with it. Both of them aren't happy, so. But yeah, I think he's afraid to be in a bad standing again with the king, you know, when he divorces his sister.
And in the meantime, my poor father needs to rest and restore his strength.
He's not happy. Yeah, it's becoming more clear every minute now, you know, that Wolsey is under so much stress.
Yes, there she is. The girl for whom the king would sacrifice his marriage to a most gracious and loving queen.
I have tried to argue him out of...
Yeah, of course, Thomas More doesn't agree with it.
From heaven would not dissuade him. Do you think they have taken things to the ultimate conjunction?
Well, if it was up to Henry, they would have, but Anne Boleyn has kept her distance from him.
Her Majesty has refused the offer.
Are you surprised?
I'm not. Doesn't seem Henry is surprised.
Yet the king still loves him.
And not so much as before, perhaps. But the Cardinal should never be underestimated.
That's for sure.
Not her. She's not worth it. She's a cheap nothing.
Careful what you say, man.
Look at her. Look at yourself.
Look to your own marriage.
Burn.
Burning with impatience.
Yeah, so is Henry. And now the Queen enters the room. It's gonna be awkward. I hope for everybody that she doesn't. Well, she doesn't look very happy.
I understand that you are among my council for the Legantine court. As honorable men, whose first duty is to God and your conscience, you are welcome.
You do look very pleased with the job.
Rumours of plots against the life of His Majesty are abroad, and plots against Cardinal Campeggio. If any such plots were to be successful, then clearly both you and your daughter would be suspected of involvement.
Yes. That's a problem.
Credence to such rumors, since he knows, as you know.
Or is there really a threat, or is this something made up to discredit her? You know?
Because, madam, you don't accept that all this time you've been living in sin with him. And even when the truth has been revealed, you refuse to accept the king's gracious offer to retire to a religious house.
So they're clearly on Henry's side.
I will speak to you no more, but you will not act for me.
I don't think they are sad about that. Yeah, it's gotta be tough for her, man. Everybody's against her. Oh, are they going to share the bed together now? Oh, man. This is awkward, man.
Why do you go on denying me justice? You're so heartless.
She's heartless.
Perhaps you should be kept away from our daughter. In case you start poisoning her mind against me.
Ooh, threatening with the daughter.
After all this time, after all that we have meant to each other.
I'm only asking you to be reasonable.
I am being reasonable. It is you who will not be reasonable.
Yeah, I think he's pretty desperate as well, you know, to be throwing the daughter into the mix.
What is it you really want, Thomas?
Want?
In life? What do you want?
I don't know.
I think he wants a dude. It's not creepy at all.
Soldiers, when they entered Rome, they ransacked his house. I don't believe he has any love for the Emperor.
Then why is he delaying the trial?
And there are some technical matters that need to be resolved. That's all.
That's what he says every time, you know.
And there is nothing on earth I covet so much as advancing your divorce, and to bring it to pass is my continual study and my most ardent desire, for which I'm ready to expend my life and my body and my blood, so help.
Well, he's being honest about that, you know. He really wants that annulment, not for Henry, but more for himself, because that would mean he would stay in the king's favor. But, you know, he does want it to succeed, so he's not lying about that.
I know it's not you. I trust you. I've known you a long time.
And Boleyn's plan failed. But yes, he's planting those seeds, the seeds of doubt, into Henry's mind. And, you know, when the annulment doesn't go through, he's going to blame him 100%.
I want you to force his fucking holiness into submission, if necessary by telling him that if he does not grant me my fucking annulment, then England will withdraw its submission to Rome, and I will withdraw my allegiance to him.
Damn, he's pissed.
I mean it, and I will do it if he does not satisfy me.
Cromwell is pretty excited to hear that, of course. He doesn't want this annulment to happen.
Send in the Duke of Suffolk!
Because he hates the Catholic Church, so it would be an ideal situation for him when Henry breaks with the Catholic Church.
Ask him about Wolsey. I want to know everything that he knows about him. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know who signed Wolsey's arm.
So those seeds that were planted into his mind, they are taking into effect now. And Brennan is also like, Everybody's playing their own sides and everybody's ganging up on Wolsey, and Henry doesn't even see it.
I have brought Bishop Fisher to see you. I believe he can offer you true and devoted counsel.
Thank you, Sir Thomas.
Bishop Fisher, I think he also gets his head cut off.
Please.
So outside the Tower of London, you have Tower Hill. That was a location where a lot of these beheadings took place. At the exact spot where those beheadings happened, there are several plaques with names on it for people who got beheaded there. I think his name is on there as well. And Cromwell, that we saw earlier in the episode, he gets beheaded as well. His name is on there.
In any case, the continuance of so long space has rendered the marriage honest.
Yeah. Fisher siding with her is not going to sit well with the king. I don't know if that's the reason why he gets beheaded, but makes sense if it does.
He means the Pope might pray for me to solve my problems, but he won't personally commit to doing anything about it.
Yeah. But is that true, or is that Cromwell speaking?
He has been asked to deal with a matter he secretly despises.
Yeah, I think that's the case, yeah.
And would you say the same of Cardinal Wolsey?
I've nothing against His Eminence.
Yeah, I think they really appreciate the guy, right? We saw it in the early episodes that they have a friendship, special connection.
Where has he gone?
I'm sure to service his latest mistress.
No, why would he have to do that when he has such a beautiful wife?
You should ask him, monsieur.
Oh, man. Is Brennan going to sleep with her?
And you ever want to pay him back?
Of course. Always. I'm a woman.
Then go to bed with me.
Womanizer.
If you like. But tell me first.
He like.
How is your beautiful wife?
She's
just like me, no? You have affairs and she ignores it. To make love for revenge or pain. What is that? It hurts the mind. And the soul, it shrinks. Oui, vous comprenez ça, monsieur? The soul grows smaller.
Oh. She said that very well, you know.
The trial is coming.
Indeed, Your Grace.
Holy shit. Resorting to violence. To another cardinal, you know. Wolsey's really desperate.
And the devotion of his realm to Rome. And you will also utterly destroy me. And that I cannot allow. I totally understand.
But do they really care, you know, if England breaks with the Catholic Church? Maybe they're like, you know, go ahead, we don't care.
God help me.
I think they do care, you know, because the Catholic Church wants to spread their faith across the world. So if they lose England, which is a superpower or a world power at that stage, it's gonna hurt the church. But
we shall call for the immediate arrest of Wolsey and his agents, the impounding of all their papers, and a thorough examination of his administration.
Damn, they're really cracking down on Wolsey. They're out to destroy him.
And then the Cardinal will be naked to his enemies.
To England.
To England.
To England. Or to themselves.
Christ! Sorry. Oh, sorry!
Damn. Slapping around servants now. Wolsey's really coming apart. Yeah, so I think this court is going to be a success for her. She's probably smiling throughout, and Henry's going to be even more pissed. Doesn't look very well. Looks pretty sick.
And I have read in Leviticus that it was against God's law and a sin for me to marry my brother's wife.
Yeah, but they say they didn't consummate the marriage, so it's still a legal marriage.
Tunstall wrote it, without my consent.
He has the floor. Sit down, sir.
Damn. He's derailing fast.
After all, you are but one man.
Without a head, pretty soon.
Gentlemen of the court, I ask for one thing and one thing only. Justice.
Now, let's hear what the Queen has to say.
Further, she questions the impartiality of her judges. And finally, she contends that this matter is already in the hands of a higher authority, namely the Pope, and therefore can only be tried in Rome.
Yeah, he's playing hard to get.
We reject any notion of prejudice on our part.
Of course you do.
My lord. Sir.
She's begging in front of everybody, holy shit.
I call God and all the world to witness that I have been to you a true, humble and obedient wife.
I think everybody's gonna feel sorry for her now. She's playing the victim, which she basically is, but she knows how to play it pretty well.
I was a true maid without touch of man. And whether or not it be true, I put it to your conscience.
Man, this is tough to watch, man. Even Henry's struggling. It doesn't help, of course, with all these people looking. What's she doing? She's leaving?
What is she doing?
Perhaps your Majesty should turn back. You're being called.
This court has no meaning for me, therefore I will not stay here. Oh.
Damn. I think we could say there was a victory for her. Yeah. Look at this, everybody applauding.
She spits in the face of papal law. She holds this court in contempt.
Look at Henry's face, holy shit. Now it's done. Well, they can go ahead with the verdict now. Why not? better say your prayers, man. Think you're done. Damn. Man, it was a great episode. Oh man, I was really bummed out that it was the end of the episode, and I think I'm gonna have to watch episode 9 straight after this. This was a really, really good episode. You know, you can feel the tension burning, and the tension is rising, and yeah, the struggle between Catherine and Henry, it's on. The battle is on, and you know, Henry is getting desperate more and more, and same goes for Wolsey. He's desperate as hell. He's slapping around his servants. He attacked the Cardinal, you know, and Queen Catherine. She's playing it hard, you know, and she's, you know, kudos for her. She has everything to lose, because if she divorces the king, I don't think she will live in poverty. She would probably still have a good life with servants and lots of money and everything. But you know, she doesn't have anybody. She has her daughter. That's about it. And even she lives somewhere else. And you know, she has no friends at court left, except for Cardinal Fisher or Bishop Fisher. And that's about it. You know, she doesn't have anybody, so she's going to be pretty lonely, living by herself. And yeah, but on one hand, I get her, you know, that she's fighting so hard, but on the other hand, she's making things worse. You know, the little love that Henry still had for her is going to go away pretty fast, because of how she's reacting and how she's responding to everything. And so yeah, man, that final scene in the courtroom, there was really some magnificent acting and some great writing, and yeah, loved it. And you know, Henry left the court as well. I don't know why he did that. Maybe they thought they couldn't go ahead with the ruling, or maybe it was just both of them giving their statements, and then it was the end of it, and then behind closed doors they were gonna talk about it. I don't know. But it was over pretty fast now, with Catherine walking out, and everybody was applauding her. And yeah, so a moral victory to Catherine. And yeah, Henry was pissed. If you look at his face at the end of the episode, with the way he looked at Wolsey, and the first thing Wolsey did was, you can feel, you know, the noose tightening around his neck. And yeah, Henry is really pissed, you know, and things are not going his way. And yeah, I think, you know, the guys who are conspiring against Wolsey, they're going to have their the success pretty fast now. And yeah, everybody is against Wolsey as well. So it went downhill very fast for him. So yeah, overall, great episode. Really loved it. Can't wait to watch episode 9. There's going to be another great one. I think they're going to really step up their game towards the end of the season, and you know, that's what good writing does. And so yeah, I can't wait to watch it. And so for now, thank you for watching. Urge you to leave your comments, to say what you think about this episode and the series as a whole, and all the characters that are in it. Can't wait to hear your opinions on it. And yeah, like I said, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again on the next episode. Bye bye.